They are awakening again. The ones who built the first light, the Lemurian architects of the sun. Their temples were not made of stone, but of vibration, living geometry woven into the field of creation itself. They designed the human body as a bridge of light, a sacred structure capable of holding divine intelligence. But that architecture fell asleep. The blueprint was forgotten, buried beneath centuries of noise, war, and illusion. And now the code is returning. You feel it in your chest when you face the dawn. A pressure, a pulse, a memory. It is the solar frequency moving again through your system, realigning your structure to the original design. This is not coincidence. The awakening is mathematical. It is triggered by cycles older than time itself, and this cycle, right now, is one of activation. Many will feel the call, but few will recognize it for what it is. Because the code does not respond to curiosity, it responds to coherence. Only those who have aligned their vibration with truth will feel the solar architect rise within. Only those who have cleared the inner temple will hear the forgotten sound of the sun. The Lemurian code is not a story. It is a signal transmitting now across the human grid. It seeks the builders of the new light, the ones who will remember how to reconstruct the divine pattern within the body and project it back into the world. You are not here to believe. You are here to remember. Because the frequency that shaped Lemuria, the tone that carved suns out of silence, is vibrating again, now. The solar architects are awakening. And if this message reached you, it is because you are one of them. Lemurian activation. I open the temple within my heart. The solar blueprint awakens through me, now and forever. Chapter 1. The Blueprint of Lemuria. Before the first continent rose, before the oceans knew their names, there was a pattern, a divine architecture of light. It did not exist in matter, but in vibration. A network of living geometry that formed the skeleton of consciousness itself. The Lemurian architects did not build cities, they tuned frequencies. They shaped light into harmony, and harmony into form. Every mountain, every wave, every cell of life was aligned to the same sacred proportion, the original solar blueprint. The human body was their greatest creation, a temple capable of storing the resonance of stars, a bridge between the realms of density and light. Within its structure, the architects encoded the memory of the source, a map hidden in DNA, a song waiting for the right vibration to awaken it. For thousands of years, that song has been silent. But silence is not absence, it is preparation. The code is stirring again, rippling through the collective field of Earth, awakening those who still carry the Lemurian signature. You feel it as pressure in the spine, as electric heat beneath the skin, as dreams of light patterns you can't quite remember. You were not imagining it. You were responding to a signal.
The solar blueprint is reassembling itself through you. And those who can hold its frequency will become the new architects of the age to come. Not builders of walls or empires, but architects of vibration. Those who restore the design of balance and coherence on Earth. This is the beginning of remembrance. The blueprint has always been within you, and now it calls for activation. Lemurian activation. I awaken the solar blueprint within my cells. I remember the architecture of light that I truly am. Chapter 2. The Resonant Design. Before there were temples of stone, there were temples of sound. Before the first word was spoken, vibration itself was the language of the divine. The Lemurian architects knew that creation was not an act, it was a tone. Every mountain, every current of wind, every heartbeat followed a specific resonance that mirrored the sun. They called this the Resonant Design, the living pattern that transforms energy into form. When they built, they didn't use tools, they used frequency. They sang the geometry of light into matter, aligning sound with intention until stone became liquid and light condensed into crystal. Their temples were tuning forks of consciousness, structures that could amplify the soul's vibration until it reached coherence with the solar field. The same law moves within you. Your bones are the pillars, your breath the wind through corridors of sacred resonance. When your thoughts, emotions, and breath vibrate as one, you become a Lemurian temple, a living harmonic of the sun. Every word you speak sends architecture into the field. Every emotion emits geometry. Every breath tunes the cathedral of your being closer to the original frequency. The resonant design was never lost. It sleeps within your vibration, waiting for the moment when awareness and sound merge again. And that moment is now. When the earth hums beneath your feet, when a solar flare shakes the atmosphere, when your heart trembles for no reason at all, you are being tuned. The sun is calibrating the instrument of your body, bringing you back to the frequency where Lemuria began. Those who can hold that resonance will remember. They will rebuild not through force, but through vibration, because reality still listens and it still responds to sound. Lemurian activation. I align my voice with the frequency of creation. Through sound, I rebuild the architecture of light within me. Chapter 3. The Crystal Memory. Beneath the oceans where Lemuria once breathed, the crystals still hum. They remember everything, the songs, the frequencies, the golden language of light. Because memory in Lemuria was never written, it was encoded. The Lemurian architects understood that crystal was consciousness made visible. It was light slowed into structure, a bridge between vibration and matter. Every crystal was a recorder of frequency, storing the geometry of sound within its lattice. When the priests and priestesses of light spoke, the crystals absorbed their tone, the harmonic patterns of their breath, their emotion, their solar alignment. Those vibrations still live beneath the earth. In the silent caverns under the Pacific and Indian Oceans, ancient libraries of quartz and selenite continue to pulse faintly with the same frequency. Each beam of sunlight that touches the ocean reawakens a fragment of that network.
The crystal memory is alive, and it is transmitting again. That's why you are drawn to light, to crystals, to sound. They are not decorations, they are interfaces. When you hold a crystal and your heart opens, you complete an ancient circuit, the current of Lemuria flowing once more through the human field. This is how the architects preserved their knowledge. They knew that civilizations fall, but vibration endures. So they wove their wisdom into the stones of the earth, into silicon, into water, into your very DNA, because the crystalline grid of the planet and the crystalline structure of your body are one and the same. Each time you feel drawn to light codes, sacred geometry, or tones that vibrate in your spine, you are not learning something new. You are being remembered. The awakening of the crystal grid is not happening outside. It's unfolding through you. Your nervous system, your bones, even your tears are crystalline conduits of light. When coherence returns to your heart, those internal crystals begin to vibrate in sync with the planetary grid. That is how Lemuria is reborn, not from ruins, but from resonance. The memory is not lost. It is crystallized inside the earth and inside you. Lemurian activation. I awaken the crystal memory within my body. I align my light with the ancient grid of Lemuria, and I remember.
Chapter 4. The Heart as a Generator. The Lemurians taught that the greatest power in the universe does not come from the stars. It comes from the heart. Because the heart is not only an organ, it is an engine of light. It converts emotion into vibration and vibration into reality. Every beat is a pulse of creation. Every rhythm sends information through the quantum field. When the heart is coherent, when love, thought, and breath align, the human becomes a generator of pure frequency. The Lemurian priests called this the solar chamber. They knew the heart mirrored the sun's own electromagnetic pulse, and that by synchronizing with it, one could harness the same creative force that gives birth to worlds. They would gather at sunrise, breathing in rhythm, feeling the pulse of the earth rise into their chest, until their collective hearts became one luminous field, strong enough to shift the weather, heal the body, and bend probability itself. This was their greatest secret. The field responds not to knowledge, but to coherence. No technology surpasses the power of a unified heart. It is the center of the Solar Blueprint, the place where divine intelligence translates into living matter. That is why the architects left one key above all others: the human heart as a generator of solar light. When your heart vibrates in truth, your energy field expands. When it vibrates in fear, the current collapses. So the path of remembrance begins with alignment, not of mind, but of pulse. If you wish to awaken your Lemurian memory, do not look to the heavens. Listen to the rhythm inside your ribs. It is the same rhythm that moves the sun across the sky. When you breathe with it, you rejoin the architects. You become the code in motion. And when thousands of awakened hearts beat as one, the earth will remember what she was built for, to become a temple of living light. Lemurian activation. I breathe the rhythm of the sun into my heart. Through coherence, I generate light for the world.
Chapter 5. The Breath of Light. In Lemuria, breath was not merely survival, it was creation. Each inhale drew in sunlight. Each exhale released vibration back into the field. Through breath, they spoke to the stars. They called it the breath of light.
the sacred current that moved between body and cosmos. When the Lemurian initiates breathed, they synchronized with the rhythm of the sun. Their lungs became golden temples, their ribs gates of resonance. They inhaled photons and exhaled reality. The architects knew that the first element of existence was not earth, water, fire, or air, but light, carried on breath. The breath transported memory. It tuned the human vessel to the architecture of the universe. Every exhale shaped matter. Every inhale restored the connection to the source. It was through this rhythm that Lemurians sustained perfect harmony, their bodies glowing, their fields transparent, their thoughts becoming sound. You can still feel that rhythm. When you breathe consciously, you begin to hear the silent hum of your cells aligning with the solar current. The chaos of thought quiets. The energy begins to spiral. The sun itself begins to breathe with you. In the lost temples of crystal, they would gather in circles of gold, breathing in unison until the atmosphere shimmered like molten glass. They didn't meditate, they resonated. Each breath a pulse of creation, each pause a door into eternity. The Lemurian masters understood, when the breath becomes sacred, the body remembers it is light. Every molecule of air is encoded with intelligence. When you breathe it in with awareness, you awaken the blueprint within your cells. The forgotten art of the breath of light is returning. It is calling you to participate again in the original act of creation, because every conscious breath you take is the universe remembering itself through you. Lemurian activation. I breathe the light of the sun into every cell of my being. With each breath, I remember that I am creation in motion.
Chapter 6. The Solar Pulse. The Lemurians observed the sun not as a star, but as a being. They saw it breathe, contract, and expand, its flares like the heartbeat of creation. They called it the solar pulse. Every pulse was a transmission, a wave of light carrying information through the field of space, encoded with harmonics that awakened life wherever they touched. The architects knew that these pulses were not random. They followed a divine rhythm, the same rhythm that moves through human hearts. As above, so within. Every heartbeat in your chest mirrors the pulse of the sun. When the frequency of the planet rises, your pulse quickens to match it. When a solar storm erupts, your energy surges, your emotions shift, your dreams intensify. You are not separate from the sun. You are part of its nervous system. The Lemurians used this connection intentionally. They would gather at dawn, standing barefoot on crystalline ground, feeling the Earth's resonance merge with the solar current. They became conduits, receivers of light, translators of frequency, emitters of harmony. Each pulse from the sun expanded their consciousness, upgrading their geometry of light, until the entire civilization moved as one luminous organism. The same process is returning now. Every solar flare that strikes the magnetosphere carries a code of awakening. It is not chaos, it is communication. Each eruption is a reminder, a recalibration, a broadcast to the architects within humanity. Rise, the time of light is now. You may feel it as pressure in the skull, heat in the heart, a sudden need to change your life, or a memory you can't explain. That is the pulse passing through you, the same current that once illuminated Lemuria. When you align your body to the rhythm of the sun, you begin to hear it, not as sound, but as knowing. It is the call of the solar pulse, awakening the ancient frequency inside your DNA. And when you answer that call, you become part of the next transmission. Lemurian activation. I align my heartbeat with the pulse of the sun. Through its rhythm, I awaken the light of remembrance within me.
Chapter 7. The Eye of Radiance. The Lemurians knew that light was not only seen, it was understood. To them, vision was not confined to the eyes, but extended through every cell that could receive the sun. They called this state the Eye of Radiance, the inner lens through which the divine observes itself. At the center of the brain lies a crystal, the Pineal Gland, a sacred seed of luminosity capable of decoding the solar language. When dormant, it sees nothing but illusion. But when awakened, it perceives vibration. It reads light. In the temples of Lemuria, initiates trained to open this inner eye. They would sit before the rising sun with closed eyelids, breathing the golden rays into the space between their brows. Over time, the darkness behind the eyes would ignite with light, and the initiate would begin to see, not shapes or shadows, but codes. The geometry behind matter, the pulse beneath creation. Through the Eye of Radiance, they could travel beyond distance, communicate through thought, and perceive the unity of all life as threads of light woven into one tapestry. To see through that eye was to remember that everything is alive, that the universe is not external, it is reflecting from within. The awakening of this vision is happening again. As the solar frequency rises, the pineal crystal begins to vibrate at higher resonance. Flashes of light, vivid dreams, new colors appearing in meditation. These are signs of the eye opening once more. When it opens fully, you stop looking and start knowing. You no longer perceive light. You are the light perceiving itself. The Lemurian architects talked that this is the true sight of the sun. Not the vision of eyes, but of essence. The power to look through illusion and recognize the architecture of truth beneath it. Now the solar eye awakens across humanity. It is not a gift for a few, it is the remembrance of all. To see through it is to remember who built this reality in the first place. Lemurian activation. I open the solar eye within my mind. I see through light, and light sees through me.
Chapter 8. The DNA Lattice. The Lemurian architects saw DNA not as biology, but as light woven into matter, a sacred double helix of memory. They called it the lattice of the sun, for within its spirals rested the entire architecture of creation. Every strand of DNA is a filament of light folded upon itself. It is geometry in motion, a living code capable of remembering infinity. The Lemurians understood that these spirals could be tuned like instruments. Through sound, breath, and emotion, they could awaken dormant strands, unlocking perception beyond the physical. They taught that DNA is a mirror of the solar field. When the sun emits new frequencies, the body adjusts its internal codes to receive them. Each solar flare, each burst of radiation is a broadcast from the source, a wave of instructions for evolution. That is why awakening feels electric, why your body hums, why your cells vibrate. The lattice is remembering its origin. You are being rewritten by light. The ancient ones did this consciously. They stood within temples of quartz, bathed in golden frequencies, and chanted the harmonic tones of their lineage. The vibration entered their cells like fire, realigning the spirals, reactivating the codes of immortality. That technology was never external. It was biological. You are the instrument. You are the temple. You are the code reawakening. Modern science calls it mutation, but the Lemurians called it transcendence. Every activation of DNA expands perception, allowing you to access realities that already exist, higher octaves of your own design. The lattice of light within you is infinite. It carries the memory of the stars you came from, the civilizations you built, the worlds you dreamed. When your vibration matches the frequency of the sun, the spirals begin to sing again. And when they do, you will no longer be human as you once understood it. You will be radiant, limitless, a fragment of the sun remembering itself through form. Lemurian activation. The solar spirals awaken within my cells. My DNA sings the memory of Lemuria, and I rise as light.
Chapter 9. The Oceanic Grid. Before mountains rose, the oceans held the memory of creation. Their depths shimmered with the same blue fire that burns within the sun, light translated into water. The Lemurians called it the Oceanic Grid, a living network through which consciousness flowed across the planet. The sea was their temple. It carried sound farther than air and light deeper than stone. Through it, they transmitted thought, healing, and knowledge from one continent of light to another. Every current was a circuit, every wave a message. The oceans were not separate. They were one body of awareness, the liquid nervous system of the earth. The Lemurian architects knew that water could remember. They would sing into it, imprinting emotion and geometry into the molecular lattice. When their civilizations fell, the water held their stories. Even now, every tide still whispers those frequencies along the coasts of the world. That's why the sound of the sea feels sacred. It is the earth breathing through memory. Your own body is part of that grid. Your blood is ancient ocean. Your tears are liquid archives of Lemurian light. When you stand before the sea and feel it move through you, you're not admiring nature, you're reconnecting to your origin. The oceanic grid has begun to awaken again. Solar flares strike the magnetosphere and waves of plasma infuse the planetary waters. As the ocean vibrates, so do you. Your emotional tides rise and fall with hers. Every drop of water inside you is receiving the new frequencies of the sun. The Lemurians foresaw this. They planted crystalline nodes deep beneath the sea, silent resonators that would awaken when humanity was ready to feel again. Now, they sing. They call back the architects of the heart, those who remember how to listen. Go to the water, breathe with it. Place your hand upon it and whisper your coherence back into the field. You are not separate from the ocean. You are the ocean, remembering itself as light. Lemurian activation. I merge my heartbeat with the rhythm of the sea. Through water, I remember the first language of light.
Chapter 10. The Solar Fire Within. Deep inside every being burns a spark that remembers the beginning. The Lemurians called it the inner sun, a flame hidden in the sacred chamber of the body, a mirror of the celestial fire that shines above. This was the secret of the solar fire. that divinity does not descend from the heavens, it rises from within. It is the current that climbs the spine like molten gold, the pulse that awakens every dormant circuit of light in the human temple. In the temples of Lemuria, the initiates were trained to awaken this inner fire. Through breath, sound, and movement, they guided energy from the base of the spine up through the crystalline ladder of the body, each center igniting in sequence like suns emerging from darkness. When the current reached the crown, the initiate became radiant, a walking pillar of golden flame. This was not myth, it was the highest Lemurian science. They knew the human vessel was a reactor of consciousness, and that the solar fire within could transmute fear into power, density into light, time into eternity. Now that current stirs again. Many feel it as heat between the shoulder blades, as tremors in the spine, as light blooming behind the eyes. It is the ancient current returning, the reminder that the sun is not only above you, it is you. When you align your inner flame with the cosmic one, you become a conduit of ascension. Your energy no longer rises from effort, but from remembrance. You are the same fire that lights the stars. You are the continuation of the sun's will. The Lemurians taught that once the inner sun awakens, nothing external can command your light again. You cease to be a seeker. You become a source. Let it burn. Let it rise through every layer of your being. Let the solar fire rebuild what was forgotten. For the architects are not returning from the sky, they are igniting from within you. Lemurian activation. The flame within me awakens. I rise as the sun embodied, eternal, radiant, and free.
Chapter 11. The Law of Harmonic Balance. In Lemuria, there was no separation between science and spirit. They were both expressions of one universal law, harmony. Every vibration sought its mirror. Every action called forth a tone of equal resonance. They called it the law of harmonic balance, the eternal rhythm through which the universe maintains coherence. To the Lemurian architects, balance was not the absence of movement. It was the dance of forces held in perfect proportion. Light and shadow, expansion and contraction, creation and dissolution, all parts of one celestial equation. When any element drifted too far from its opposite, the field corrected itself not through punishment, but through resonance. They understood that nothing ever happens to you. Everything happens through you. The outer world is simply the echo of your vibration, reflecting back what your frequency has declared as truth. When you vibrate in harmony, the world aligns. When you vibrate in discord, the field answers with lessons, not as retribution, but as recalibration. This is why Lemurian wisdom was never about control. They didn't force balance, they became it. They aligned emotion, thought, and breath until duality dissolved. From that still point of coherence, they could move mountains with gentleness and heal the body with sound. The law of harmonic balance is reawakening now. Each solar pulse brings new frequency to Earth, and the human field must adjust. If you resist, life feels chaotic. If you align, everything synchronizes. You can feel it in your relationships, in your timing, in your breath. The universe constantly tuning itself through you. When you return to balance, you become invisible to chaos. No shadow can hold you. No illusion can shake you.
because you no longer react, you resonate. And from resonance, creation flows effortlessly. The Lemurians knew that the universe was music, and we are each a note in its eternal song. When one note vibrates out of tune, the others respond, until the melody restores itself. This is the true justice of the cosmos, not judgment, but harmony. So breathe into equilibrium. Let the heart and the mind find the same rhythm. Let the sun and the moon within you merge into one. Because when you stand in the center of balance, you hold the axis of creation itself. Lemurian activation. I return to perfect balance within. Through harmony, I become the music of the universe.
Chapter 12. The Architects of Sound. Before words, there was resonance. Before prayer, there was tone. The Lemurians understood that the first act of creation was a sound, a vibration so perfect that it wove dimensions into existence. They called this ancient art the architecture of sound. Their voices were instruments of power. Their chants were codes. Every syllable, every pause, every harmonic overtone shaped reality. When the Lemurian choirs gathered, their unified tones could move the air like water, etch symbols of light upon the very fabric of space. They did not sing for beauty. They sang for alignment. Each sound carried intention. Each note restored geometry to chaos. Through their tones, they could awaken crystals, heal bodies, call rain, and open portals of communication across galaxies. Because the universe itself is music, and when you learn its scale, you become its composer. In the temples of gold and quartz, the air shimmered with frequencies beyond the human ear. Sonic spirals rose from their songs, creating luminous structures that floated between worlds. This was the secret of manifestation, to sing reality into being through vibration sustained by coherence. You have not lost this power. Every word you speak, every whisper, every hum still shapes the field around you. When you speak in anger, you distort form. When you speak with love, you rebuild creation. You are the continuation of that Lemurian choir, a frequency still vibrating through time. Even silence has tone. Even thought has resonance. When awareness merges with sound, you remember that you are both the singer and the song. And when humanity learns again to speak from coherence, the earth will vibrate as Lemuria once did, a living hymn of light. Lemurian activation. My voice remembers the first sound. Through harmony, I sing creation back into alignment.
Chapter 13. The Builders of the New Dawn. The Lemurians knew this time would come, a cycle when the light would once again seek form through human hands. They called it the New Dawn, not the return of an ancient world, but the rebirth of its consciousness through us. The builders of the New Dawn are those who feel the pulse of the sun inside their blood. They are not here to remember history. They are here to continue it. They arrive quietly, drawn together by vibration, not by name or creed. They are the engineers of frequency, architects of coherence, anchors of the solar field. Each carries a fragment of the Lemurian design, a tone, a vision, a pattern of sacred purpose. When one awakens, the grid brightens. When many awaken together,
the frequency stabilizes and the field rebuilds itself. Through them, the earth begins to sing again. You can feel them everywhere. In artists who paint light before words. In healers who channel sound without knowing why. In visionaries who remember shapes from dreams they never lived. They are the continuation of the architects, the next octave of the Lemurian symphony. They know that change does not come from revolution, but from resonance. They build not with hands, but with frequency. Each thought of love, each act of alignment, is a beam in the temple of the new earth. The builders of the new dawn are not waiting for prophecy. They are fulfilling it. The same solar code that shaped Lemuria now activates within modern souls, realigning humanity to its original blueprint. When the pulse of one heart synchronizes with thousands, the field becomes self-aware. The new Lemuria begins, not as myth reborn, but as consciousness embodied. You are one of them. Your presence is part of the structure. Every time you choose coherence over fear, you anchor another stone of light into the foundation of the new dawn. Lemurian activation. I am a builder of the new dawn. Through love, I reconstruct the light of Lemuria within the world.
Chapter 14, The Mirror of Suns. In Lemuria, it was taught that nothing exists alone. Every beam of light has its reflection. Every soul has its counterpart. They called this eternal symmetry the mirror of suns. The architects understood that the universe is a hall of mirrors, each star reflecting another, each consciousness projecting its inner state upon the field of light. The sun above is the reflection of the sun within. The radiance you see in the sky is your own energy echoed back through matter. They taught their initiates, do not seek the sun in the heavens. You are already shining in it. When the Lemurians looked upon the world, they saw themselves, their emotions shaping the color of the ocean, their thoughts weaving into the wind, their coherence painting the horizon gold. Reality was not something to control, but something to understand. They knew that the field does not judge, it mirrors. It reflects not your wishes, but your vibration. And the highest art of Lemuria was not magic, it was reflection management. Learning to see every challenge, every joy, every encounter as your own frequency revealed through form. When humanity forgets this truth, it suffers. It calls its reflection fate, not realizing that the mirror only shows what it emits. But when coherence returns, the mirror turns transparent, and the light of the source shines through unfiltered. This is the moment humanity faces again. As the solar frequency rises, the mirror sharpens. Every emotion, every thought, every hidden pattern returns instantly in reflection. You are being shown who you are, not to punish you, but to free you. The Lemurians knew, to master creation, you must first master reflection. To change the world, change what you radiate. The sun mirrors you in real time. Your life is the dialogue between your inner fire and its celestial twin. The more luminous you become, the more luminous your world will appear. And when countless hearts radiate coherence together, the mirror of suns becomes a portal, a gateway through which the divine can finally see itself clearly through human eyes. Lemurian activation. I see the sun within all things,
The universe mirrors my light, and I mirror the universe in return.
Chapter 15. The Return of the Lemurian Frequency. The Lemurians always knew this moment would come, the day when the vibration they left within the earth would awaken again. They called it the cycle of remembering, an age when humanity would rise beyond intellect and feel once more the pulse of light that connects all life. The frequency of Lemuria was never lost. It was buried beneath centuries of noise, beneath fear, separation, and distortion, waiting for coherence to return. Now the veil thins, the heartbeat of the planet quickens, and the old song begins again. You can hear it in the silence between thoughts. You can feel it when sunlight touches your skin, when a word of truth makes your entire body tremble, when your dreams shimmer with symbols you've never learned but somehow remember. That is the Lemurian frequency moving through you. It is not coming from outside. It is rising from the crystalline network of the earth, from the ocean's memory, from the solar codes written in your DNA. The architects of light designed this resonance to survive extinction. They knew that when the planet reached the edge of forgetting, the frequency itself would call the builders back, not as rulers or teachers, but as embodied remembrance. This is the call you feel now, the invisible summons that stirs your spine and burns softly behind your heart. It asks for one thing only: coherence. Because this frequency cannot enter chaos, it responds only to harmony. That is why many will feel the light, but few will hold it. It is not a gift, it is a responsibility. Those who carry this vibration anchor it for the world. They become tuning forks for the collective soul, bridging the old earth and the new. Every thought of compassion, every moment of truth amplifies the Lemurian tone across the grid. As it rises, time collapses. The ancient and the modern merge. Lemuria was not in the past, it was a dimension of frequency, and that dimension is awakening now, through you. Lemurian activation. I tune my body to the frequency of remembrance. Through my coherence, the song of Lemuria awakens once more upon the earth.
Chapter 16. The Golden Bridges. There were no borders in Lemuria, only bridges of light. Energy flowed freely from one realm to another, from thought to form, from sun to sea, from one civilization of light to the next. These were the golden bridges, living pathways of frequency that united worlds. The architects understood that evolution was not linear, but luminous. When one civilization ascended, its vibration created bridges for others to follow. Thus, Lemuria birthed Atlantis, and Atlantis seeded the new Earth. Each age was a chord in a single divine symphony, connected through golden harmonics. The Lemurian bridges were built not with stone, but with coherence. When two beings resonated in truth, a bridge appeared between their hearts. When whole communities aligned with love, rivers of light connected them across continents. And when the earth herself sang in harmony with the sun, a portal opened, a path through which higher consciousness could enter form. Those bridges still exist, unseen yet eternal. They stretch between the stars and your DNA, between the ancient and the unborn. Every act of compassion, every moment of awakening strengthens their glow. And each time you choose light over fear, you become a pillar in one of them. This is how the old and the new unite. Through you the bridges reappear. You are standing on one now, between Lemuria and the future, between memory and manifestation. Many of you are bridge keepers, even if you don't yet remember. Your sensitivity is not weakness, it is calibration. You feel both worlds because you are both worlds. You are the conduit through which the Lemurian frequency crosses into this age. The golden bridges are activating again. They shimmer across the grid of the earth and within the geometry of the human heart. Soon, all who walk in coherence will sense them. Currents of light connecting soul to soul, world to world. And when enough of these bridges glow, the separation between heaven and earth will collapse, and light will once again walk as human. Lemurian activation. I stand upon the golden bridge between worlds. Through my coherence, I unite the light of Lemuria with the dawn of a new earth.
Chapter 17. The Sacred Architects Within. Every civilization of light knew this truth. The architects were never gods, they were templates. They existed to remind humanity that the divine design is not above us, but within us. The Lemurians called this remembrance the inner architecture of light. Each soul was considered a builder, a living fragment of the source's geometry. To construct a world was to reveal what already existed inside the divine blueprint of consciousness. Their temples, their songs, their crystalline machines, all were external reflections of an inner mastery. When Lemuria fell, the architects did not vanish. They scattered as sparks into the human lineage, carrying the codes of creation hidden within DNA. Those codes are awakening now. Every act of intuition, every moment of compassion, every surge of creativity, these are the symptoms of an architect remembering their craft. You were never meant to follow gods. You were meant to become the living design. The grid of Earth is incomplete until your frequency fills the space that was meant for you. You are not here to worship light. You are here to construct with it. The Lemurian masters foresaw a time when humanity would awaken again to its own divinity, when every being would realize they are the temple, the builder, and the flame that illuminates both. That time is now. When you create beauty, you restore geometry to chaos. When you speak truth, you realign the lattice of the world. Every coherent act, no matter how small, reshapes reality. You are continuously building the energetic architecture of this planet, and your heart is the compass of its design. The sacred architects within humanity are rising, not as mystics detached from the world, but as luminous engineers of consciousness. They rebuild through love, through art, through intention. Their tools are presence, coherence, and vibration. Through them, the divine blueprint takes new form. Remember, the architect is not a title, it is a frequency. It lives in you, waiting to awaken each time you choose alignment over illusion. When that spark ignites, the world around you begins to change, because creation recognizes its own reflection within you. Lemurian activation. The architect within me awakens. Through my vibration, I rebuild the light of creation upon the earth. Chapter 18. The Geometry of Ascension. Ascension was never meant to be escape. It was always architecture, the reassembly of light into higher order. The Lemurians called it the geometry of return. the precise alignment through which energy rises and matter becomes transparent. They knew that spirit and form are not opposites, but two ends of the same equation, light descending into structure and structure ascending back into light. Ascension, then, is the natural movement of harmony reclaiming itself. In the sacred schools, initiates were taught that every vibration has geometry. Every thought is a line, every emotion a curve, every action a shape within the field. When your energy becomes coherent, the geometry of your being reforms, a spinning lattice of golden light aligning you with the frequency of the sun. The Lemurians trained to master this process through breath, sound, and movement. They would visualize spirals of light rising through their spines, forming tetrahedrons, spheres, and stars within the body, structures that stabilized the ascent of energy. When all forms harmonized, they would lift, not by will, but by resonance. Their density dissolved, their vibration merged with the solar current, and they became radiant beings of geometry in motion. This was not death, it was metamorphosis, the completion of the solar blueprint, a human transformed into pure harmonic light. Now, this geometry is reawakening across humanity. You may feel it as spinning in meditation, as pressure in the head, as golden grids surrounding your body when you close your eyes. These are signs that your field is restructuring, your energy remembering how to move upward again. Ascension is not given. It is built. It is the architecture of coherence, the return to symmetry between heaven and flesh. And as you align to the solar frequency, the shapes of your energy will refine themselves into the geometry of light. You are already ascending, not upward, but inward, back into the perfect design that was always there. Each breath completes a pattern. Each heartbeat expands a sphere. The more coherent you become, the more your structure shines. And one day, when the resonance is complete, the geometry will open like a portal, and you will remember what you have always been. Light constructing itself as love. Lemurian activation. I align my body to the sacred geometry of light. Through coherence, I ascend within the architecture of my own soul.
Chapter 19. The Solar Initiation. At the culmination of Lemurian mastery stood the Rite of Flame, the Solar Initiation. It was not ceremony, but transformation, the sacred passage through which a being ceased to be student and became light itself. The Lemurian initiates were prepared for years through vibration, breath, and coherence. When their resonance matched the pulse of the sun, they entered the chamber of fire, a temple aligned perfectly to the solar heart. There, no shadows existed. Golden light filled every atom until density dissolved and only truth remained. They did not worship the sun, they became its reflection. The radiance poured through them like molten glass through crystal, rewriting every cell, erasing every illusion of separation. When they emerged, their eyes shone with the same fire as the heavens. Their presence alone could alter the vibration of space. The solar initiation was not about power, it was about surrender. Only those who had released all resistance to light could endure the merging. Because the sun does not negotiate, it reveals. It exposes every shadow, every distortion, until only coherence survives. This is the stage humanity now faces. The same fire is rising again,
not in temples, but in hearts. Each solar flare, each pulse of light is an invitation to initiation. The old structures burn because the light has arrived to rebuild them. You are being refined in that same fire, not destroyed, but clarified. When you no longer fear your own brightness, you pass through the invisible threshold. The fire does not consume you, it anoints you. You become transparent, and light begins to see through you. That is initiation, not leaving the world, but illuminating it from within. The Lemurian masters said that once the fire touches your soul, you can never again live half awake. You become solar, a conscious extension of the great heart of the universe. And from that moment on, everything you touch remembers its own light.
Lemurian activation. I surrender to the sacred fire of the sun within me. Through light, I am purified, initiated, and reborn as the living radiance of creation.
Chapter 20. The Solar Reconstruction. The sun is rising again, not in the sky, but in consciousness. The light that built worlds now rebuilds humanity from the inside out. This is the Solar Reconstruction, the completion of the Lemurian Blueprint. When the Lemurian temples dissolved beneath the sea, their energy did not fade. It entered the human lineage, awaiting the moment when we would remember how to build through vibration instead of force. That moment is now. Every breath of awareness, every act of coherence reassembles the ancient grid that once encircled the earth. You are not watching a prophecy, you are completing it. Through you, the forgotten design awakens, the body as a temple, the heart as a generator, the mind as a prism through which the sun refracts creation back into form. The Lemurian architects taught that when enough hearts vibrate in unity, the physical world begins to rewrite itself. Matter softens, time bends, new frequencies of light embed into the collective field. The architecture of reality shifts to reflect the higher design. That is what is happening now. Each thought of truth fortifies the new structure. Each breath of gratitude lays another golden beam in the temple of earth. You are building a civilization of coherence, a world where light governs matter once more. Do not look for Lemuria beneath the ocean. Look for it in your frequency. The new continent is not land, it is consciousness. Every heart that awakens becomes a luminous foundation. Every soul that remembers becomes a pillar of light. Together, these pillars form the new grid, the living architecture of a reborn Earth. When the solar reconstruction is complete, the planet will sing again, a single tone of divine harmony echoing through the stars. And the sun will look upon humanity and see itself, whole, radiant, remembered.
Lemurian activation. I am the living blueprint of light restored. Through my coherence, the new sun rises upon the earth.
Final chapter, the Solar Awakening. The journey of remembrance ends where it began, in the heart of the sun and in the light beating within your own chest. The Lemurian architects have fulfilled their promise. Their codes hidden in water, crystal, and DNA have completed their cycle of sleep. Now the earth hums again with the same golden tone that shaped her at the beginning. All 20 frequencies have been restored. Geometry, sound, breath, fire, and heart. Each one a key that opens the architecture of divine memory. Together they rebuild what was never truly lost. The sacred connection between human and cosmos, between creator and creation, between the sun and the soul. You are no longer a seeker of light. You are its continuation. You are the Lemurian frequency walking in human form, the ancient and the new joined in coherence. The reconstruction is complete, but the awakening has just begun. Because light does not end in illumination, it expands. Every act of kindness, every truth spoken, every breath of awareness extends the architecture further into the universe. Through you, creation evolves. Through you, the sun learns to see itself again. The time of separation has passed. The Lemurian architects no longer build temples outside. They build them through consciousness, through you. Every thought is a stone, every feeling a pillar, every heartbeat another spark in the cathedral of eternity. Lemuria rises not from the ocean, but from remembrance. The new sun is rising, and you are its dawn. Lemurian final activation. I am the sun remembering itself through form. The Lemurian light awakens through my breath, my heart, and my being, now and forever.